So you're hearing that real estate sales are going well, right? I know that the main message that we're hearing in the news is that the economy is doing great. We just lowered interest rates by 0.5 percentage point. Everything is fine and dandy, but you know, I disagree. I do not agree, and let me tell you why. I got an article here that really starts explaining some things that I've been seeing over and over. And the headline of this article says, existing home sales sink to a 14-year low as home buyers pull back ahead of the November election. So what happened 14 years ago? We were in November of 2010, and let me tell you, that was the absolute best time to get into real estate. At that point in time, I was partnered with a few investors and we were acquiring property, and let me tell you, those were excellent investments. They were rentals, actually. They ended up being long-term rentals. But if the buyer demand has pulled back to those levels, then you got to ask yourself, why is that? And how bad is that? You know, at that time, there were investors buying houses, but people were not buying houses. It was actually really hard to get a loan at that point in time, mostly because the money supply tightened and banks just, even if you were like a perfect credit, perfect W-2 employee with zero debt, it was just hard to get loans, you know? Right now, it's easy to get loans, although the rates are higher, so it's harder to qualify, but it's easy to actually get the loan, right? By the way, right now I'm walking through Philippi State Park, the little back section. I haven't been here after the hurricane, but boy, I tell you, there's a lot of trees that are down, a lot of trees hanging over. Look at all this debris everywhere. I mean, it's not debris, it's just like yard waste debris, you know? But let's get kind of back into it. I'm in Sarasota, Florida, by the way. My name is Maciek Zaremba. I am a real estate agent, and be glad to help you if you have any questions about real estate. But let's go back into this article, because it is really interesting what they're saying here. They're saying that the demand is the lowest it has been, okay, since basically the worst time it was ever in 2010, which was the best time to buy. So you got to ask yourself, is it the best time to buy? Well, maybe, probably not. It's not in this article, but one of the things that they're estimating might happen is a hyperinflation type of situation. And if that happens, then right now is the best time to buy. The hyperinflation would basically be that they print money, they lower interest rates, which is an inflationary action. And then everything gets more expensive, including housing, right? It means all the stocks will go up, all the prices of homes will go up, everything would just go up, eggs would go up, everything gets more expensive. So if that happens, if we have major rate cuts along with money printing again, then we're going to have an inflationary thing. And the reason why they're saying they might do that, the experts are saying that, not the federal government. The reason why they're saying that is because it allows the payback of debt to other countries like China and you know, other NATO, to whoever the U.S. borrows money from. It allows them to pay it back with future lower valued money, if that makes sense. So I can see that happening, you know, because unless we take control of the U.S. budget of the USA, I don't know how they're going to do this. Look at this. This is a little crazy too. What is this bench doing facing that way? It is, I think it used to be here. I don't know. I mean, it's not really, these 6x6s were not really deep in the ground. I don't know what's going on here. You know, and this also is talking about, this article is also talking about that the sales from September 2023 to September 2024 is down 3.5%. So it doesn't seem like that's that much, just 3.5% less sales, but it actually is a lot. That is a very big reduction in the number of sales that happened, you know. However, these numbers can always be manipulated and skewed a little bit. So, you know, one article might say this and another article might say something, not the opposite, but not quite as bad, right? But then they go on to say that the thing about this is that home prices are about 50% higher than just 5 years ago. 50% more is what it's going to cost you to buy a home, unless, you know, compared to what you could have got it for in 2019. That is a big price difference. That is a lot. And yes, prices should come down a little bit to make up for that. Where are they leading this path? This is kind of crazy. I'm just going around in circles here. This used to be a path, but looks like it's not really going anywhere now. Anyway, look at all these trees down. Thank you, Hurricane Milton. You brought this upon us. Now, another thing to look at, though, is the total number of listed homes, okay? And they're saying that in September, the total number of listed homes on the market in September rose 23% from last year. So what do you think comes first, price reductions or more listings? The answer is more listings, okay? First, we get more listings, then we get more desperate sellers, and then we get price reductions. And right now, we're in this place of the real estate market where we might actually get price reductions soon. I think a lot of people are just waiting on the sidelines, though, instead of buying, because they're hoping for, you know, a new president or new policy changes, and maybe they'll move then, or maybe they're hoping for that $25,000 you know, credit down payment assistance that Kamala Harris has promised as one of her measures to stir up some demand in the housing market. But if we have 23% more listings than we did just last year, and last year was nothing special. Last year was not a great year for real estate sales or anything like that. It was already a drastic slowdown, you know, at that point in time for about a year and a half. Now we're about 2.5 years from the peaks of the real estate market. And if we have 23% more listings, guess what? Some people are going to need to sell, and they're going to lower their price. That's the best way to sell. You don't want to go and spend money and upgrade. You just want to go and lower your price and get it done, right? Now, the next thing they say is another bad statistic, just a little bad, but still it's bad. They're saying that, you know, the average days on market before you go under contract is 28 days. And the previous month, in August, it was 26 days. So that's only 2 days. So you're like, oh, big whoop. Well, percentage-wise, that is a big whoop, right? That's over 6% longer that it's going to take you to wait around and cover the costs of your real estate, right? Let's see if we got a little path over here. So, oh, great. Don't go in here. We got poison ivy. Boom. I should know what this looks like. I'm embarrassed to say I'm not familiar with poison ivy, so I should know. And you know, not everybody is a loan buyer that needs to rely on that. About 30% of buyers are cash buyers right now, which in my area, it's actually a lot higher than that. For single family homes in Sarasota, it is in the 40% range. Also, the average days on market is higher than 28 days for my area as well. But you know, I'm in a wealthy area where homes are higher, about 25% higher than the median sales price nationwide. So a lot of people come here on vacation and they just want to get a vacation home. So they got the cash, they pay the cash, and they don't care about the hurricanes. But we are going to be affected dramatically. 3 hurricanes hit this summer. 2 of them just very recently. And I think we're going to have a lot of inventory reduction. We're going to have some people selling just for lot value because they can't afford the repairs. And then we're going to have the people who decide to take advantage of it and buy homes at a discount. And I think that will happen. So I'm walking on this path, right? This path looks nice. But then here's the path. Holy crap. Look at all of this. Look at all of this. What is this? A huge tree down over there. Another one right next to it, actually. It's hard to see through the bush or the brush. Anyway, I'm going to keep walking, but boy, lots of big changes here in Sarasota from our hurricanes. And you know, one thing this article does not address is new home sales, because like I've been telling you for a while, new home construction, you know, like the D.R. Hortons, the Lennar Homes, all the big builders, they have this advantage where they can come in and give crazy high incentives to get you to buy their home. And they are taking up about 30% of the real estate sales right now that are happening. So what they do is they give, whether it's interest rate discounts, or maybe they give some closing costs credit. Maybe they pay your agent, because that's not required anymore. You know, there's a lot. Wait, am I back in this circle again? Okay. Anyway, they give a lot of incentives, and this article, you know, talking about this low sales, the 14-year low, this is existing home sales. So that's another thing that people aren't really paying attention to, where they're not saying all home sales are the lowest it's ever been. They're saying existing home sales are the lowest. So since 2010, October 2010. But you know, it's not as bad for this new construction as this couple right here. This couple, wow. I feel for them. This is a good lesson for you on what you have to pay attention to if you're thinking about building a home and you're thinking about buying a lot. This couple is saying all of our dreams are out the window. I do feel for them. This Florida couple paid $350,000 for a lot, and they were going to build their home on it. Actually, this happened in Fort Lauderdale, and what ended up happening was very interesting. They purchased a lot, and they ended up going through closing. They purchased it cash, and then they found out that they cannot build on the lot by the county. So the county building department told them, hey, you can't build on this lot because there's no way to access the property. And guess what? The neighbors weren't willing to give them access to the property by selling them, you know, like a strip of land to kind of get trucks and cars and make a driveway and things like that. You know, Hanny Levy and her husband, they own a construction company, and they bought this lot so that they can build a home. And also, you know, it's partially an investment, right? They want to make some money with it. They could build a home and maybe more than one home on this lot. Well, it is landlocked. They are now facing a real estate nightmare. I feel for them, but we have to look at what they could have done to prevent them from entering into this kind of situation, this problematic situation. You know, this home was initially advertised as buildable. So you realtors out there, watch out how you word everything. Like, how do you know it's buildable? Just because you look at it? Just because one county person says, yeah, you can build on it? No, get evidence so that you can take the liability and put it back onto them and force them to allow you to build after they've done the research, after the building department has done the research. And this wasn't just a small little lot. This was a lot that was big enough for 2 to 3 homes. And there was apparently a little bit of due diligence done by these buyers. But unfortunately, it ended up getting them into trouble, because right now they can't get a yes and they can't get a no from the building department to either deny building or give the go ahead on the building. You know, this lot is landlocked. All that means is that you don't have, from the public street, you don't have any access to get to that property. Therefore, you can't run your sewer line, you can't run your water line, you can't run electric, you can't make a driveway, you can't put up a fence, you know, you can't do anything. The only road that allowed access to this property was owned by the existing homes that surround it and not available for public use, and that is the problem they ran into. Now, hopefully they have a title insurance policy. Hopefully, I know that they've already filed suit against the seller for non-disclosure and the real estate agent for misadvertising, right? I don't know if exactly those are the terms that they're suing for, but you know, they're going forward with suing somebody because they're getting screwed on a purchase, which they were advertised, they were told you can build on this lot. One thing that they did do well is that they were very clear about their intention to build on the lot. So when they were shopping, when they were going through the purchasing process, they've communicated this with the realtor that listed it, and you know, they were still misled, saying that, yeah, you can build here, and guess what? They can't. And of course, right after purchasing, they got a letter from Fort Lauderdale Building Department, and they said that they cannot build because it requires access to a public right of way, and that it appears the lot may be unbuildable. Wow, can you imagine spending $350,000 to build a dream home and a few investment properties and then getting a letter like this? Wow, they could have contacted the building department. They could have made the purchase contingent on getting approval from the county, which of course would have taken a lot longer in terms of the closing date, right? Could have taken a lot longer. But whenever builders end up buying a plot of land for development, they always have a longer closing time frame, along with the requirements for due diligence time periods to get approvals for what they want to do. So these people just, it seems like they were just represented by an agent, or maybe they were unrepresented, wouldn't be surprised. And they ended up kind of getting shafted, possibly, because they're still waiting on that final reply to see if they can do what they wanted to do. And it's just unfortunate, They could have protected themselves, they could have gotten all this done, but, they rushed to the closing, and I feel for them. But make this a lesson in real estate.